In Walls, the premier RHA podcast with your host, Brian M. and
John Nguyen.
with today, our special guest is very special indeed. Today, we have the student regent. That's right. You may not know what it is, but let me tell you, it is a very, very important position here at the university level and the UH system level. And not just that, Texas, but he'll let us get into that. And he's also currently a residence hall coordinator. So here at UH, you're RLC, a master's student, a previous SGA president. Look, man, I'm just telling you, this guy's history is so long and in depth that there's a whole page dedicated to it. There is a whole page dedicated to it. You can look up UH System, Board of Regents, Alvaro Cruz, and he will be right there. He's got a whole headshot, everything. This guy has it all. So, Alvaro, please, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate y'all, and thank y'all for hyping me up. I appreciate it. I actually messaged John, and I was just like, "Hey, have me on this podcast. I want to be on it, please. Please." And then he was just like, "Yeah, let me contact Brian," and here I am. I'm so excited to be here.
And we made it happen. And, we're glad that you reached out, actually, because we were already thinking of having you on the podcast at some point or another.
Really?
But then you reached out and said, hey, he wants it, okay? And I think it was really when you posted it on your story that you sealed the deal,
Mm-hmm.
I would say. I was like, you know what? This is it. He wants something, and here we are. So thank you for reaching out. You know what that shows? Initiative. You know what initiative shows? Leadership. So, why don't we just get into the first question, right? Student regent, that's your biggest thing that you're doing currently right now.
Mm-hmm.
And, we have like a couple questions. Question
that, right?
being, who is the student regent? What is the position? Tell us.
So basically, there are 10 regents on the Board of Regents for the University of Houston system. 9 of them are serving on 3-year terms, and they're a bit older. They're CEOs, they're different business people who really are dedicated to higher education.
Mm-hmm.
And so the 10th one is actually a student representative that serves for a 1-year term. And all of the regents, but especially the student regent, they are appointed by Governor Abbott.
Oh.
So, every single year, it's a very long application process. It starts from December all the way goes till June when you're selected. That's how long the student regent process is. And basically, I'm sort of a representative for the board to basically give a student's perspective on different policies. How will policies affect different students, and just understanding younger, fresher eyes, like what's happening actually on the ground with different policies that the Board of Regents implements. So the student regent doesn't have any sort of voting power, and they're not counted as part of a quorum, but you're still a regent. You're still respected as a regent. You're still, your input is still very valuable to the board and to the system.
Oh, damn. It's a mouthful, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. So, that is the position, right? There's regent, but then there's student regent.
Mm-hmm.
And student regent, you could say, is very different based on, the person that sits on it. So student clearly has a different perspective from a normal regent. Like you said, it can be, I guess you could say powerful people that sit on the board,
Mm-hmm.
dedicated to higher education. But, there have been many student regents in the past. So now the question to you is, what makes you the student regent? What makes you different from the traditional student regent?
I guess usually, the student regents in the past have been mainly from the University of Houston main campus, and I'm from the University of Houston Victoria. So I'm actually the second student regent from there. The first one was back in 2010.
Oh, 10
her
years
name is-
later, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And she reached out to me. She was just like, "Hey, congratulations! I saw that you got it. I was the first one, so congratulations." And I definitely am different from the previous student regents because I'm more of a higher education person. My master's is in higher education, and I want to hopefully pursue a career within student affairs, but we'll get to that later. So, but I really am sort of an advocate for the students. Ever since I've been on campus, an advocate for the students to the administration and saying, hey, these are the people that you are serving. These are the people that you should be paying attention to. You may think that a university is sort of a business, and your customers are the students. Those are the people that you should cater to. Those are the people that you should listen to. So yeah.
Damn, there you go. That's a damn good explanation. And I think it's interesting to note that it was almost pretty much a decade ago that a student regent from your university was chosen for this, which is good. I like to think that, well, you're the second one there, but that's a legacy. But, with legacy comes our next question, actually, that I'm not going to be asking, but John Wynn. So thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So please.
So could you tell us something that we don't know about you?
I guess this is more personal, but I believe that mental health shouldn't be a stigma. It should be talked about openly. So I've struggled with depression and depressive episodes, which I've personally received counseling for. So it comes and goes in different waves. A lot of college students have been affected by depression, or they either have depressive episodes. So mental health is definitely something very important to me, and I think it should be more openly discussed,
And the stigma.
And the stigma, just like SGA's campaign to help other students understand and realize mental health is just as important as physical health. Sometimes you break a bone and you go see a doctor. Sometimes you have you break a mental bone, so you go see a mental health professional. So I've definitely have had times where I've broken down and I've had to go talk and get some help, but definitely don't just go in emergency situations. Go to get mental health checkups. Just see how you're doing. Talk to have a good support system. And speaking on your mental health, respect other people's mental health. Be emotionally intelligent with understanding that you have no idea what other people are going through. So you kind of just want to be respectful and be kind to other people, and be open. Treat other people how you want to be treated, and just be kind.
Well, it's good that you brought that up, right? And we also talked about your position as the student regent and how you wanted to go into higher affairs, right? So could you tie it in and say why did you choose this career path? And you mentioned you wanted to pursue a career in higher education. How does that look like to you?
Yeah, so basically I wanted to start, I applied for the student regent position the first time back in 2016, I believe, in December.
Almost 4 years ago.
That was my first time applying, and I was young, a sophomore, and I didn't know what this position was all about. I didn't understand it, so I was just like, this looks interesting. I should probably do it. And I did it. I got to the first interview, but I didn't get past the first interview. But I did ask for feedback from the vice chancellor of student affairs. And he was just like, hey, just think about this, this, and this, and you're all set. You're good to go. And then later on, I was actually elected that sophomore year. I was elected as SGA president for my junior year. And being SGA president is definitely a handful. Helping out all those students, being an advocate for students to the administration, helping out, understand what our student needs and how will you be able to affect that change. It was a lot. But I definitely did receive a lot of great experience from being SGA president that helped me apply to the next time that I applied for student regent, which was 2019. Yeah. And it was a very long process. funny story, kind of off topic, but when I came for my application with the Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs, I wanted to do it in person because the first time, that I applied, I did it virtually, and I just didn't get that sort of connection in person of like, they don't know me, I don't know them, but I want to create a connection in person. So, as I was driving over here from Victoria, not even 10 miles out of Victoria, not even 10 minutes out from Victoria, I park on the side of the road because it was raining and I heard something like under my car. So I get out, I park my car on the side of the road, and someone comes and crashes my car.
What?
Totals it completely.
Oh my.
And so
while it was parked on the side of the road?
Yes, I was outside of the car. So, because I was checking, like, under the car what happened, and I was walking to the passenger side, and that's when a car came. I think it's definitely interesting, like, seeing a horror movie, being scared, and then sometimes you get nightmares, and sometimes it's sort of that escapism of like from reality. Reality is so scary right now. Reality is really tough right now, and you just need a sort of something to keep your mind off it. And what better way to keep your mind off it than being scared?
Than a horror movie. Yeah, that's true. It does a really good job in getting your mind off of things.
So like my favorite horror movie is actually Scream.
Really?
I love Scream. I love my favorite part about it was that sort of twist of like you didn't expect it to be the boyfriend who did it. And for when did it come out? 1999.
Dude, it was like a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Scooby-Doo actor was in it actually, so that's how you know. The guy that played Shaggy was in it, that's how you know it's old. I've heard people like really like that movie because of how it was. It served kind of as a commentary on like horror movies at the time, right? Because it was just kind of like making fun of them and stuff like that, but then putting its own kind of like element and twist into it.
Yeah, and that was definitely new to the genre
at the time. Yeah.
At the time of like you have a star, Drew Barrymore, and she was the first one that was killed, and so you're just like, all these advertisements. Oh, sorry, spoilers for those people who haven't seen Scream. Which you should probably watch.
It's been out for a while now.
Yeah, it's been out for 20 years.
20 plus years now, yeah.
So, but Drew Barrymore was like sort of the main advertised actress in it, and she was the first one out, and it's just like, whoa,
so
this is different.
So in the trailers and everything, she was like the main.
It seemed like it, I believe.
And then they just killed her right from the start. Oh shit, I didn't know that. I guess because I only watched it without like a trailer. I watched it like just by itself.
Like everyone knew Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore was important, influential. SZA made a song about her.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. By the way, support SZA. We love her.
SZA's a good artist.
SZA is great.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to leave us with?
I think not just for y'all, but for anyone listening, be respectful, be kind, get involved, listen, and build a good to your support system. Like build a really great support system. Sometimes you have your blood family, and then sometimes you have your chosen family. So build a really great support system. Be as involved as you can, especially right now during COVID times. If you don't, be the change you want to see in the world. I know that sounds super cheesy, but just keep working hard, but also take breaks. Practice self-care, practice mental health, good coping mechanisms and whatnot. So I have a lot of advice. So if y'all want to ever reach out to me, especially to those who are watching,
drop the link.
I honestly don't know what my ads are, but find me up. My name is Alvaro de la Cruz. Find me on Twitter, find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook, LinkedIn. Don't find me on Snapchat. My Snapchat is personal. So but the rest, you can find me, add me, talk to me. call me. My number is my office number. I'm not giving out my cell phone, but my office number is 361-485-4561. Call me at any point in time, but not at 3 a.m. because I'm sleeping. Email me. My email is delacruzA2@UHV, V as in Victor or Victoria.
Victoria,
.edu. So delacruzA2@UHV.edu. Contact me. I'm super open to talking with students, talking to faculty, staff, administration, anyone. Reach out. I'm super open to it.
Well, I'd like to thank you for coming on
Thank
to our
you.
show. Well, my name is John Nguyen.
Brian M.
Alvaro de la Cruz Jr.
And you have finished our episode of Thin Walls.
Yay!